Takkakah. She was a singer that performed in weddings, but this one wedding was different from the others. Let's hear her story from her words.
My name is Noura, and 25 years ago, I used to be one of the most famous singers of weddings in my country. I was called all the time by the most wealthiest families to sing in their wedding. I became very rich, and my fame rose. Until one day, it was our week off with my team, but suddenly the phone rang and I picked up. It was a woman who had a strange voice. She asked me to come sing in the wedding of her daughter the same night. I was about to refuse because it was my week off, but she said, "I will pay double the price you ask." And seeing the huge amount of money I was going to make, I immediately accepted. Therefore, she gave me the address and hung up. I called all my team to convince them. They also wanted to rest, so they first hesitated. But after hearing about the amount of money we would make, they also accepted, and we took the car and left at night. During the whole trip, I felt a strange feeling in my heart, but I didn't say anything, and the address was very strange. It seemed to be in the middle of nowhere, so we found it hard to find our way, but we finally managed to get there. But once we arrived, we saw so many people outside. The music was loud, and the house was huge. We got out and entered the house. The people in there were dressed in a strange way, and the woman who spoke to me on the phone came to receive me, and I recognized her voice right away. She welcomed us. But when she kissed my cheek, I noticed her skin was hard like a stone, and her clothes were also strange. I kept trying to ignore the strange feeling inside me. She then showed us to our room where we could change and rest and prepare to perform. We got ready and went to perform, and once I started to sing more and more, people came. They started to dance in such a strange way that fear took over me, but I didn't let it show. I kept signing and my team kept performing until one of the girls of my team fainted and fell to the ground. And when I was about to ask what happened, a male from my team was staring in a shock. That's when I followed the direction of his gaze, and I saw the people who were dancing. They started to jump, and their feet were not human feet. They were animal goat feet, and I started to shake. I knew that if we showed our fear, they would not let us go, so I kept strong and told my team to act normal. I told them to keep going if we wanted to leave this place. So despite their fear, they all agreed, knowing it was the only choice we had. Upon noticing the girl of my team who fainted, one of them came to me and asked, "What happened?" I tried to contain my fear whilst looking at her. Staring into her eyes, I answered, "Nothing, it's just the fatigue. She just needs to rest a little." And we went to our resting room and carried the girl. Once in the resting room, the girl from my team woke up finally and screamed. She said, "Have you seen their feet? What are they?" And I told everyone. I saw what you all saw, but we must keep performing normally if we want to get out of here fastly. So don't show anything, no matter what you see. I think we came to the wedding of the Jinns, and Fajr Adan is after 2 hours. So let's hold on until then. And they all agreed. We got back to the stage and we performed. I was doing my best to sing normally, and we performed song after song until they started to act crazy, doing weird dances and noises, and when they jumped again, their feet were the same scary goat feet. One of my team members screamed from fear and they all turned to look at us, and I froze. I called Allah and asked him to save me, and if he did, I would never sing again. And right away I heard the most beautiful thing ever, Fajr Adan. And suddenly lights were off and everybody disappeared, so with my team we gathered our belongings and ran. I should have known what they were the moment. I arrived there and saw the strange house and strange people surrounding it. I should have trusted my feeling. Or when the woman who kissed my cheek, her face was hard as a stone, which is not human at all. Or when they were attracted to music and a voice whispered in my ears, "Continue, I love your music. Don't stop singing." Or when they showed us our resting room that looked like nobody entered there since 100 years, judging by the old bed and the dust everywhere and the smell. But I still didn't want to believe until my eyes laid on their feet. We ran as fast as we could until we saw a man walking, and he stared at us. We stared at him back. He thought we were jinns, and we thought he was a jinn, until he said, What are you guys doing in this old abandoned house? I didn't understood what he talked about until I turned and saw that the modern house full of lights we entered earlier was now an old house in ruins. So we told the man what happened, and he said, "Indeed, this house is abandoned 100 years and is known to be inhabited by jinns." From that day, I never left my salah, and I went to perform Umrah and Hajj, never sang again, and I spent my days in worshipping Allah. When I think of what happened that night, it made me see how unaware I was, and I am thankful that it changed my life and permitted me to find Allah again. Alhamdulillah.